morning. Welcome back to Read Aloud Miss Cope with Miss Cope. Today is Thursday and it's June 11th. And we are getting closer to our last day of school, so congratulations. But the reason we are here, we are reading It Ain't So Awful Falafel by Firoozeh Dumas. The chapter we left off on is called Sequins Sisters. And since we just finished our poetry unit, Sequins Sisters is also alliteration if we're talking about figurative language. Carolyn's mom has suggested that instead of trick or treating, we can hand out candy. I don't like that idea, but Carolyn is very enthusiastic. I don't have a costume, I say, trying to find an excuse. I never thought the day would come that I would not be excited for Halloween. What about the suitcase full of clothes? How about we go as twin sexy grandmas? And we can keep the leftover treats, she adds. She knows that candy works like bait for me. Fine, I say, sexy grandmas it is. Halloween. Everyone loves Halloween. You get to dress up like someone else. Pretend like you're someone else for the night. My dad drops me off at the Williamses at 5. Carolyn opens the door. She's wearing the pink sexy grandma t-shirt with curlers in her hair and bright orange lipstick. I'm just wearing my t-shirt with jeans and tennis shoes. You look like a crazy grandma, I say laughing. Of course, she has found a way to make the costume even better. I'm pretty sure that any grandma who would wear this skirt would also be crazy, she says. I go in, but before I have a chance to say hello to her parents, the doorbell rings. Carolyn grabs the huge bowl of candy and opens the door again. Trick or treat! It's 2 angels and a cowboy holding out their plastic pumpkins. The mom and dad are standing a few feet away, smiling. Here you go, says Carolyn, dropping a mini Reese's peanut butter cup in each bag. Thank you, they all say. The kids turn around and run to the next house. Careful, the mom yells. Slow down. As soon as we shut the door, Carolyn offers me a piece of candy. It's commission, she says. We get to eat at least 2%. We're only halfway through our 3rd piece of candy when the bell rings again. This time, it's a group of ghosts with a grown-up who's dressed as Kamonani. Remember, Kamonani is the Shah in Iran. I stare at his mask a little too long. He notices, "Bomb Iran!" He shouts, pumping his fist in the air. I know I should tell him something like, "That's not funny. You wouldn't laugh if someone said that about America." But as usual, I chicken out. I say nothing. Carolyn hands out candy to the ghost and says, "No candy for you," to Kamonani and shuts the door. What a jerk, she says. We give out candy for another hour and then the older kids start to come. It seems like every 4th kid is dressed as Kamonani. I no longer feel like doing this. Do you think your mom can drive me home now, I ask. It's only 7, Carolyn protests. I'm tired. It's all the Kamonanis, isn't it? No, I lie. It's just a stupid costume. Okay, yes, it's all the Kamonanis. It makes me sad because this is all Americans know about Iran, Kamonani and hijabs. I know, but I already told you when I become a journalist, I will report on other things about Iran, I promise. That's a long time from now. Didn't your dad say that he wishes you had freedom of speech in Iran? This is what it means. People have freedom to wear stupid costumes. There are also Nixon, Ford, and Carter masks, Carolyn adds. She always has an answer for everything, and it can be so annoying, I guess. Before I say anything else, the doorbell rings again. Trick or treat, the kids scream, and we're back to being 2 sexy grandmas, all dolled up in sequins, giving out candy to princesses and vampires. I feel a teeny bit better. For once, I told the truth about being sad, but I still hate those Kamonani masks. So, I guess it's not freedom of speech to wear a mask and be whoever you want and say whoever you want. But saying bomb Iran? That's hurtful and almost a threat. I don't like that. And I can understand why Zomorod felt sad. Next chapter, following the rules. I'm supposed to babysit for David for 3 hours while Dr. and Mrs. Klein go out to dinner for their anniversary. Guess what? David asks as soon as I walk in. You built a bionic eye. No, not yet. I got an origami book. Here, let's make some stuff, he says, heading to the dining room. I follow him. The dining table, which normally holds 2 silver candle holders and nothing else, is now strewn with papers folded into various shapes. I've been trying all day to make a jumping frog, but I can't get it right, David tells me. My dad says I need to keep at it. That's good advice. He says if you want to achieve something, keep trying and you will eventually succeed. David asked. I hope so. Don't you know so? Well, it's just that sometimes in life you follow instructions, but you still don't get what you want. Like your father not finding a job? David asks. How do you know about that? I heard my mom and dad saying stuff. I can't believe the Kleins have been talking about my father being out of work. Even David knows. He's been trying to find a new one, I say. Are you going to help me with the frog or not? Okay, but I can't concentrate. The directions are very complicated and my mind is elsewhere. We spend the next hour attempting to make a jumping frog. The closet, I get it, is lopsided creature that doesn't jump. We finally give up and play Go Fish instead. Can you be quiet, please? November 5th, 1980. I have my friend here, and his name is Joey, and he's listening to my read aloud, but I'm like, shh, be quiet so my friends can hear me. I'm almost done. Ronald Reagan won the election by a landslide. He carried 49 of the 50 states. Wow. All the papers had predicted that Jimmy Carter would lose. People blamed him for the hostages and the failed rescue mission and the bad economy. I'm surprised they didn't blame him for the bad weather, too. Now the hostages will be finally released, my dad says tiredly when the results are announced, but they're not. So I think it's been over a year and some months that the hostages have been held captive. Next chapter, December 19th, 1980. The kidnappers are now asking for $24 billion. According to them, the U.S. is holding $14 billion in Iranian funds. They want that back, plus another $10 billion, which they claim the Shah had in banks here. I'm beginning to wonder if this situation will ever end. It doesn't seem like it. Next chapter. My favorite hostage, part 2. Christmas 1980, our house is the same as always. Messy, no decorations, no smells of home-cooked meals, lots of cereal in the pantry. We're on the sofa watching the news. It's day 417 of hostage crisis. Some of the hostages are shown again on TV, and Carolyn Knobb, the same woman who joked with her mom about weight loss, asks her family to sing a Christmas song with her. She's wearing her glasses and looks quite slim. She starts to sing Away in a Manger in a soft, trembling voice. She sounds like she's trying hard not to cry, probably because she knows her family is watching. I imagine them on the other side of the world singing along through their own tears. How can they not be sobbing? My mom and I start to cry and we don't even know her. We need to be stuck in some kind of depressing loop. Here's the reoccurring sense. We watch the news, my mom and I cry, my dad swears, the TV is turned off, we all go to separate rooms. Sounds horrible. Next chapter. The French boy. We're watching TV a couple days later. The phone rings. It's Howie, sounding very excited. Hi, Cindy, guess what? My mom got 4 tickets for A Little Romance on New Year's Eve. Do you want to go? What is it, I asked. It's a movie about an American girl in Paris who meets a French boy. It's supposed to be really good. It's not as if I have any other plans. Sure, I can go. Great. We'll pick you up at 1 o'clock for the matinee. A few days later, Mrs. Howard drives me, Carolyn, Rachel, and Howie to the theater at Fashion Island. There's some money for snacks, she says to Howie as she drops us off. I'll pick you up right there at 3:30. Your mom is so hospitable, I comment as we walk towards the snack shop. She's from the South, Howie says. Why does that make her hospitable? That's what Southerners are famous for. They like to feed people and take care of guests. Sounds like the South is the Iran of the U.S., I say, laughing at my own joke. We stand in line to buy snacks, then armed with a jumbo popcorn, 2 boxes of red licorice, and a package of chocolate raisins, we take our seats in the theater. 2 hours later, we walk out with our heads in the clouds. That was the best movie I've ever seen, Rachel declares. The best, Howie, chewing on the last piece of licorice. I'm in love, announces Carolyn. So where in the world are there actually boys like that, I ask. According to the movie France, says Carolyn. Or maybe there's even one here, she turns to me. Cindy, do you care to admit your crush on Brock? What? I say, startled at the sudden turn in this conversation has taken. Admit it. You have a thing for Brock, Carolyn insists. You do? Asked Howie and Rachel in unison. Brock Vitter? No way. Carolyn's making stuff up. Cindy and Brock sitting in a tree. Kissing, Carolyn chants. Stop it, I beg. No, actually, it's more like Cindy and Brock sitting in the tree. Reading. Carolyn can't stop laughing. It's not funny. And it's not true, I insist. Thankfully, Rachel changes the subject. But can you believe the part of the movie where Daniel and Lauren go to Venice alone? I mean, what 13-year-old is going to run away to another country? Why not? What could go wrong? Asked Howie. We all laugh, standing at the curb waiting for Mrs. Howard to pick us up. I'm a little mad at Carolyn, though. Why can't there be more guys like Daniel? Carolyn sighs. My mom says boys mature much slower than girls, so we're doomed for now. But when they do finally catch up with us, I hope I meet one who is smart and kind and cute. And tall, adds Howie. And Jewish, says Rachel. Right then, Miss Howard drives up. How was it? She asked as we get in. Great, but now we all have to go to France to meet a perfect guy. Howie says. Mrs. Howard laughs. Maybe I should have bought tickets for Rocky too. Somehow, I don't see any of us dating a boxer, Rachel jokes. Somehow, I don't see a boxer wanting to date any of us, adds Howie. We all giggle all the way home, talking about boys at Lincoln Junior High. I'm the first to be dropped off. Thank you so much, Mrs. Howard, I say as I get out of the car, and Happy New Year. Bye, they all call out in unison. See you next year. As I walk into my house, my head is still in the clouds. Next chapter. January 20th, 1981. We're on the sofa again, this time watching Ronald Reagan's inauguration. He is sworn in as the 40th President of the United States. Right afterward, there's a special report. President Reagan is standing behind a podium. He speaks slowly. Some 30 minutes ago, the planes bearing our prisoners left Iranian airspace and are now free of Iran. There is a thunderous applause. The president looks like he's holding back tears. No one expected this. I can't believe it. The day is finally here. There are more news reports, but I'm not listening. I look at my parents who are staring at the TV. I can see that they can't believe it either. It's finally over. Thank God, my mother says, wiping away her tears. All right, let's see. We might end it at this chapter, looking at the time. Okay, I'm going to read one more chapter just so tomorrow we don't have as much to read because I'm hoping we can finish all of this tomorrow. So let's read day 445, and it's our last chapter. During all those months of hoping and praying for the hostages to be released, I always imagined we would have a huge party to celebrate. And then the next day, everything would go back to normal. But it's not turning out like that. Of course, we're relieved that the nightmare is finally over, but we can't afford a party. And our life is still a mess. Dad's still out of a job. He's still swearing at the hostage takers under his breath. My country is still controlled by people who ban music and movies, who force women and girls to keep covered, and who still kill those who defy them. The damage that they did will be with us for a long time. Our life is like a rubber band that has been stretched too many times. It can no longer snap back to normal. That afternoon, my father calls me into the living room. He looks like someone has died. My mom is not there. Where's Mom at? I ask. She's upstairs. You and I need to talk. He pauses. Zomorod, as you know, nobody called me for an interview. My dad sent out more than 80 resumes. Our savings are dried up. I have no option here. We're going back. To Iran? We're going back to Iran? I don't think things will seem as bad once you're there, he says, pretending that he believes what he's saying. He's trying to tell me something that is not sellable. I know that, and so does he. I don't want to hear this. I run up the stairs to my room and slam the door. My life is over. My dad knocks on the door. Zomorod, please let me in. Go away, I yell. Please, he begs, go away. After a few minutes, I hear him going back down the stairs. I lie on my bed, sobbing into my pillow. This is so unfair. Why do I have to return to a country that's become a prison, a place where I don't get to choose what to wear or become a judge or listen to music? I hate my life so much. I hate my parents. I hate being Iranian. Why is everyone else so lucky? Why did Iran go backwards? And why am I supposed to tell Carolyn and Rachel and Howie? If there's one thing I've practiced a lot in my life is saying goodbye. But this time it's different. I just want to leave without saying anything. That seems easier. After an hour, I go back upstairs. My dad is still on the sofa. His eyes are bloodshot. I suddenly feel sorry for him too. I know. He does not want to take us back to Iran either. I sit next to him, give him a big hug. I start to cry again. My dad says nothing. What can he possibly say? No, say it to make this better. All right, we're ending it there. Thank you for watching and listening, friends. It sounds like Zomorod is on her way back to Iran and not too happy about it. So we'll see what happens next time. Thanks for watching. Toodles.